Welcome back, tech heads and gadget gurus. Today we have another interesting topic to discuss, and with me, as always, is Christian. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey Chris, how's everyone?
Good, good, good. Hello, YouTube. Yeah, so we're doing another blind topic discussion today, right? Like you have no idea what's coming. Albeit you probably have an idea that it's going to be AI related, right? We're not um Yeah. In other news, there was a ticker. TikTok and ByteDance did sue the US, but we decided not to cover that because we just talked about it the other day. Yeah, I would like to give maybe some honorable mentions and just to see before we get into the topic, I just want to get your um initial response,
You just want to do a
right?
lightning round, huh?
Like a lightning round, yeah. Rapid fire lightning round. Be honest and tell me what you think. Um, And you don't have to expound, really. You can say stupid if you want to, or you can expound if you feel like it.
Pretty much the answer
Uh,
to everything.
yeah. So new software shows promise in fecal rec in fake not fecal recognition. That's something different. New
Individual
software shows promise in facial recognition, whether or not the person is wearing a mask.
I think I've seen this in a movie somewhere.
Probably,
Right?
probably.
Like the technology is already present in the entertainment business.
Well, I think we're in a time really where I think we're catching up to science fiction.
Yeah, it was actually gonna be necessary during you know, the global freeze
Yeah,
4 years ago.
yeah.
But now, I guess for certain securities, it's good. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Another UN official has voiced concerns over AI weapons, and she wants to speed up international regulations.
It's understandable. Like AI is already being weaponized now.
Right.
Not necessarily for the things we're considering regarding violence, but in terms of how it's being used online in order to defame people and actually scam people.
Right. Yeah, it's already been weaponized. It's just
Yeah.
attacking character more than physical, our physical selves. U.S. immigration's going to use AI for interview purposes.
Yeah. Good. Give me someone who can't speak the language also.
Okay.
That's nice. Confuse them even more.
Right. Katy Perry and Rihanna were not at the Met Gala, but AI generated images of them there hit the internet.
They're not even in my newsfeed, so it doesn't actually matter to me. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Meta says that its image generator will soon be creating advertisements.
are we surprised?
I mean, I honestly, it may be a nice break from, you
I
know,
think are we surprised anymore that this was their end game all along for Meta? Like
right.
it's just inevitable. Like
I'd never really considered, we think we talk about sometimes all the jobs that are at risk, right? I never considered marketing firms would be like, uh, you know,
we sometimes use AI to actually generate images, right? From time to
yeah,
time for our content. So
yeah,
if you consider just making a logo or making advertising through AI, it's completely possible. Like we're already doing it. It's just that we're not monetizing it.
true, true, very true. Um, Microsoft developed a GPT based AI chatbot for spies.
Are they suddenly jealous of the attention of TikTok that they want to be in the race for someone to be banned again in the US?
I
Like,
think the difference here is this one works without an internet connection.
yeah, make it easier for people to actually trick people. So
Yeah, well, I mean, spies, they need all the help they can get, right?
yeah.
AI, yeah. And I think one more quick uh Apple CEO Tim Cook had on a custom made on the iPad Air Max 86 pair of shoes. Can't even buy them anywhere.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Tim Cook had a custom one of one Nike Air Max 86 sneaker that was made on the iPad.
Jesus Christ, Apple, just go back with New Balance, please. Stop trying to be hip.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was just curious. Those are kind of the ones that I was maybe not the shoe one or Katy Perry or whatever, but those were kind of the ones that I was toying with to bring up and maybe discuss today. But instead, I decided to go with this one coming to us from Jace. Um, does AI have cultural biases? Expert says yes. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs here. Since its rapid rise, AI has continuously raised concerns about its potential cultural biases, particularly when OpenAI's ChatGPT became popular in 2022. But does AI have tendencies to be culturally biased? According to one expert, it does. Dr. Kevin Wong, who's an AI specialist from the School of Information Technology at Murdoch University, points out that a fundamental understanding of AI techniques is crucial in addressing these issues. He goes on to explain that machine learning techniques, particularly generative AI, heavily rely on vast amounts of representative data for training. However, bias can creep in when the data is incomplete or exhibits an imbalanced distribution. According to Wong, despite efforts by major tech companies to address equity, diversity, and ethical considerations in AI training data, challenges persist due to the unpredictability of AI behavior without proper management. He further notes that publicly accessible AI systems have particularly faced scrutiny for their failure to generate images of interracial couples, reflecting broader biases within these systems. And to tackle these challenges, Dr. Wong emphasizes the need for comprehensive evaluation and testing strategy. He also mentions things such as explainable AI and interpretable AI. So I think it's pretty common knowledge that AI can be biased, even racist at times. We've covered that in the past.
We just
Uh,
opened the whole can of duh. So
yeah. So yeah, so like what do you think, man? Do you think it's an issue if AI is culturally biased, or is it going to fit in perfectly in society with the rest of us that have a pretty large tendency of being biased? It's almost
yeah,
a human thing.
it's not even about being human. The current tendencies of the internet right now is actually to lean one side over the other. And these AIs are actually learning from the internet. Whatever is the majority right now, the AI will be taking it as facts. If something is actually taboo to talk about, the AI won't actually be talking about it. We've given examples about this many times here
Hmm.
regarding the use of ChatGPT and certain questions you might ask that a textbook can answer, but an AI can't, just because it
Right,
wants to be safe. Imagine being scared, an AI being scared of being canceled. Like, if that's
yeah,
not the very definition of being biased, I don't know what is.
right. Yeah, there was some instances early in 2022 of, obvious biases, whether it be political or cultural. Um,
And I'm
I
not
think,
even gonna be putting this on the developers of it. Like it is quite logical for them to actually train the AI using the internet and actually pull
mhm,
information there because you do need the AI to actually pull in facts that are available in the internet. You don't suddenly train the AI putting it in the national library and ask it to read every book it has there. So there will be some spillover regarding just opinions, but the majority of the opinions, the AI would spin it as something that's truthful, right?
right.
It's a weird place for AI to be in right now. That's why I say this that the developers might not be at fault at this because is there any better way to actually train an AI to be unbiased at this
Well,
point?
I mean, I think this is a I mean, like you said, it uses the internet and it's the best way, obviously. I mean, what else you
Yeah.
want to do? What is you just scan books? No, like page by page. You're not gonna, what else could you do other than manual input, which is so 1990.
It,
Uh,
being unbiased for, I guess for a chatbot would just be the equivalent of interviewing someone and that person is just going to be telling you no comment.
yeah. I mean, I think this is more of a, whether or not we say, oh, AI is racist or AI is biased. This is a direct reflection of society.
It's a direct reflection of the one that's asking the question, actually.
I mean, but like when they said generate, like I seen the pictures where it's like, generate I don't know, was it Nazis? It was something. And it was like it generated like black people in those positions. And it's like, okay, I see, we see that you're trying to do like diversity and inclusion within your mainframe or whatever the hell, your brain, but like you don't have the ability to discern like which it's great, whatever, include everyone, fantastic. But some places people don't want to be included, such as, hey, look, you're a Nazi. Like nobody wants that.
Yeah, probably the most unpopular thing on earth these
Absolutely.
days.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing worse, I think, to be related to or to be related with, I mean. But I think it's interesting that it actually this was as I was going through this was my first, and y'all may come for me in the comments, on, editor of a tech website, co-host of a tech podcast. This is my first time hearing the terms explainable AI and interpretable AI. Because I mean, all we really hear, or me anyway, is generative AI, right? Generative AI, generative AI, generative AI. So it was interesting to learn that explainable AI or XAI focuses on providing explanations or justifications for the decisions made by AI algorithms.
Hmm.
Uh, like, so, okay, so where do these explanations or justifications come from if it's not AI as well?
Because these are
But it is.
programmable, right? The explanations
Yeah.
are actually pre-built.
It says this involves making AI systems more transparent and understandable to humans, as if now we are a sub
Species.
species. Yeah. Oh, we're okay, we have to dumb it down for the humans, allowing users to comprehend the reasoning behind AI-driven decisions, which to me is crazy.
Yeah. Every time we mention nuance here, someone take a shot, please. Like
Yeah.
it's been the most overused word in this podcast ever since we actually started because it's
Mm,
something it's the type of thing that people are actually missing right now. And if AI wants one ups on us on that, like there's an argument for this.
yeah. I mean, it's just I find this when I did this research earlier today, I found it incredibly interesting that the purpose of XAI is to dumb it down for humans, which is, I mean, it's amazing to think like, we as adults dumb things down for children, you know,
Yeah,
and
and it's also reflective on our school system now because I think the schools are dumbing it down for kids as well as for
oh
adults, for the
God, yeah,
parents.
yeah. So it says XAI techniques include generating human readable explanations. Not even sure what that means. Visualizations, like, which is crazy, fucking pop-up books for 40-year-old people, and feature important rankings to shed light on the factors influencing
I
AI
know a
outcomes.
couple of women who would love a pop-up book of 50 Shades of Grey, so I could justify that. Like,
I mean, the pop-up book should never went away. I wish there were pop-up newspapers. That shit would be great. You know what I mean? Like everything should be pop-up. Uh,
hate
it's
on
one
the
thing.
news 3D.
Yeah, it's one thing as a kid. I never had. I mean, I had maybe three or four pop-up books. in my life, and I always wanted more.
I think I only have one, which is Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh,
It's
that's a
still
good
alive,
one.
by the way.
Your book, you still have
Yep.
it?
Yep.
Oh shit. All right, and then the other term that I was surprised by is interpretable AI, or of course IAI. It's similar to XAI, but emphasizes the interpretability of AI models themselves rather than just the explanations of their decisions. See, this is when I need XAI to explain this shit to me because interpretable AI techniques aim to design AI models in a way that humans can easily understand and interpret their internal mechanisms, such as how input features are processed and how predictions are made. This involves using simpler and more transparent algorithms, such as decision trees or linear models, and avoiding overly complex or black box models that are difficult to interpret. Overall, both XAI and IAI play crucial roles in addressing concerns related to AI transparency, accountability, and trustworthiness, particularly in sensitive domains where human oversight and understanding are essential. Which brings us back to nuance.
Yeah. AI should be making things easier for people.
So my question is the answer to AI issues more AI?
It's gonna be hard to at this point, since although we've been using it for quite some time now, it's still in its infancy, and not everyone can be an expert in it. Someone that actually thinks of it as a tool right now just to do their homeworks and stuff.
Right.
Not a lot of people are diving into AI to see its potential at this point. It's mostly on the shoulders of the company. The consumers are just there to actually access it. It's the companies, the developers that are actually the ones that's going to be making it more accessible. If they feel like dumbing it down and adding more AI to assist with the current AI would help to actually sell products, they would do it.
Oh, for sure.
I think the human factor, us being consumers, is not part of the equation here.
No, I mean, how long before consumerism is handed over to AI? Like, if honestly, if there was something that I was comfortable with AI completely taking control of, it would be my shopping, my grocery shopping. Like, I'll tell you what I want for the week, and you get it and have it delivered. Like that would, you know how much free time people would have if they didn't have to think about food. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, that could go for anything really. Clothing, you know, it knows there's a cycle. Like, okay, it's time for a new pair of socks, right? You need a new pack of socks. It's been 6 months or whatever the case may be, right? AI can take over a lot of consumerism.
Yeah, and going with that, can AI know whether you went out of the house frequently now that you need new pairs of socks? Or is it
Yeah,
in a schedule? Like these are the types of things that it has to learn. Like
right.
this is something that's completely human that an AI could never know.
Mm, could never without. Well, I mean, it could know like if like
Like
your
if
parents.
you have an AI that actually, let's say there's an AI that actually buys the socks for you, you would want an AI on top of it that would
Mhm.
actually study your habits, and then an AI on top of it who would think of your finances, then another AI on top of it that would think of your schedules and your tendencies and your habits. Like those are a lot of AIs on top of another AI for
That's true.
just one human.
That's true. Or it could just maybe make your significant other's life more easy. Because I don't know about for you, but for me, a lot of times I'm asked, like, do you need new socks? And for me, it's an easy yes or no. So it's not really
We're asking a lot of processes for something that we could just do with our fingers. Like
true, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, maybe the socks was a bad example, right? Clothing may be a bad example, but food, right? I mean, that's a pretty predictable set of data, weekly or
I
daily.
I think the part regarding the biases here, like it's It's hard to make things completely unbiased. You might
Mm,
might make it balanced, but you would have to consider how you are going to be programming this AI. If it's completely dependent on the internet, I doubt it. Like
right. Yeah.
there's no way to actually make it unless you just want to siphon facts. That's it.
I guess
And
even
if you
then,
don't inject any innuendos, if you don't any inject any agendas, any posturing, identity politics into it, if you don't make it politically correct, yeah, we can have transparency, but not in this age.
not yet, right? It's too early.
Like I think OpenAI is losing money on their platform. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They're not actually generating money off of it.
I
And
know
with the
they have
current,
they do have a subscription based thing, but
they do have a subscription, but how much of it is actually
I
adding to
mean,
their
what
bottom line?
the hell do you
People
even
can
need it
just use
for?
it freely. Like
Yeah,
yeah, whatever do you need it for? The subscription based. Like it's never going to be transparent until people remove the political correctness of the design.
that's that's a really good point. And I think we've touched on this in the past, like the way that certain, I'm not going to say certain, and I think it's pretty common knowledge, the way that Silicon Valley and tech, the humans behind all this, tend to have a bias, a similar bias. You don't have Billy Bob down the street like doing coding. It's just not a job for Billy Bob. This is a job for fucking Willow or whoever the hell with the blue hair and
Yeah. This is
ZZ pronouns. It's just how the world is right now.
at this point, like the majority of people in the tech world are actually liberals, progressives. You could understand the bias actually built into this,
It's
but
built, yeah,
there are also, if we consider biases, there are also priests who are astrologers who are trying to explain the universe, and they are of the religion, saying that God is the center of things and have created the world.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
pretty unbiased thing to be in if you have that profession tagged into being a priest.
right. Yeah. Again,
So
you said it earlier. It's
removing
a lot of nuance.
yes, removing the political correctness of these AIs would actually really help with the transparency. But at the end of the day, could people really be happy regarding that?
Uh,
Because I feel like they're doing this just to satisfy everyone.
no, yeah, I
Just
agree. I mean, it's like the majority rules, right? Like this thing, it just wants to, like, yeah, majority rules. If 51% of people of the not people, if 51% of the information online says one way, then obviously that's kind of the way it's going to go. And it doesn't even, the problem is it's not based in any fact, it's based in public opinion
yeah, I
or
guess
the people that tend to be the loudest
yeah,
online.
it's still basing its algorithm argumentum ad numerum. Like
Mm,
10 billion flies, eat shit, 10 billion flies can't be wrong.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but what do you think could be, last question for you here. What do you think could be the most, the worst, not the most worst, but what do you think could be the worst possible outcome of cultural biased AI?
This next generation would be misinformed regarding what the questions that they're asking. Like people would be afraid to actually answer questions that are actually important. If an AI doesn't actually answer, like
So
there must
basically,
be dangers to actually answering these questions.
we would go full circle. Information age, right?
Yeah.
We got all the information you
Just
want. Now we're
just
hitting a point now where it's too much information.
just asking AI regarding gender makes things uncomfortable for the ones that are actually asking the question.
True. True. So your point is remove that aspect, like the aspect where it kind of searches for opinions and just, hit like it can only take from websites like uh .lb, right? Like the library, or .lib, the library website, or .org, or .edu, like
That's
those
I
type of
guess that's the only way for it being unbiased. That's just have it just spitting out facts.
remove. Okay,
That's it.
maybe
But then
stunt
again,
the human
then again,
aspect of AI.
there is this there is this part where even biases creep their ways into books,
Oh, dude. Oh, uh,
right?
yeah, anything that comes from a human, basically. If it's
So
not,
it's basically hard to actually have a have genuine opinions or genuine facts online now.
you know. So is it unfair for us to demand AI be better than we are? We're all culturally biased. We are.
I
Anyone
think
you
the
ask, I don't care who it is, people have an opinion.
I think the better question is, should we be demanding humans to be better than AI?
Right. I don't think, I mean, I think humans are humans and AI is a product of humans. So it's just whether it be lightning fast responses to very difficult answers, that's beside the point. I mean, you ask me about what's on my desk and I can tell you immediately. It's not, you can ask an expert, a human expert, and they can answer you fairly quickly. AI isn't, it's not, I guess what I'm trying to say is this, it's really, we're seeing that it's not anything special. It's not above human um, shortcomings because it's made by humans and it's pulling all of its information from the wackiness on the internet. So of course it's going to be weird and hallucinate and give wrong answers and be racist, just like everybody else.
I feel like we're just simply forgetting that these are AIs and we're just trying to have replacements for ourselves in them.
Mm, it's like a toy. It's like the collective
Biases will,
adults of the world have a new toy.
yeah, the biases will never be taken out,
No.
no matter how much you study it.
Mm,
Like it's pretty hard. I did give the part where you could actually remove political correctness. Then again, if we
mm,
consider them pulling facts, there are these biases already in books, and it could just pull from there. So no win.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the only place maybe that's fair and non-biased and can be beautiful as well as absolutely devastating would be if there was some way for AI to pull from just like the animal kingdom, right? Like that's the most real, like, you know, beasts. Because if it comes from humans, it's going to be flawed. That's just all there is to it.
Would it be much better if we dumb down the AI to for it to just answer simple yes or no questions
Uh,
and not explain itself? Would it be much better? Like
just dumb it back down to like Siri.
like if you ask it a simple question, like it's just a question of one and two, there's no three.
Mm,
It just has that choice, like yes or no, true or false, no maybe. Don't have to explain yourself.
right. Yeah, maybe the XAI is going too far, right? Like as soon as you start explaining yourself, you lose credibility. I wonder, maybe you can prompt it to give just like, please only answer me in yes or no answers. Like I don't have
Have you
time for
tried
this
it?
bullshit
I'll
now.
try it later.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that might be. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's, AI is not going to stop, obviously. We talk about it all the time here. Is it a surprise that it's culturally biased? No. Is there any way to stop it? Probably not. Not unless you completely revamp and deliver a different product. It's not going to be the same AI that we've come to know over the last 2 years.
The main goal of the people that's generating these AIs is make things more accessible, relatable to humans. And what's more human than bias?
Yeah, and fucking
So
up, like
is
making them.
anyone even surprised? So
Yeah, I mean, and back to the question, um, I think it's pretty straightforward. Does AI have cultural biases? And
it does.
I agree with Dr. Kevin Wong. Absolutely.
I just feel like it's just stating the obvious when it started.
Right. Uh, so I want to end with the quote from Dr. Wong. Uh, he said, "It is important for a general system to be developed following some rules and ethical considerations that can then be adapted to different cultures and personal needs. However, thorough testing and evaluation are essential before using widely, as some outcomes could cause sensitive and fragile emotions in some populations around the world." I mean, I have to agree.
You would hope so, right?
Before using widely, I feel like Chat GPT was dropped on us and we were not prepared as a culture, as a society, as humans, as a global society. We were not
Yeah.
prepared.
They should have done that wide testing to paper straws before they actually rolled that out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They should have. I mean, I guess now they know. And I feel like they're hitting it's kind of a reactive point. Like I said, maybe excited. Oh shit, let's test this out. And then it blew up, and now you got delusional priests. You got the restaurant advice in New York. You've got AI generated you know, inappropriate images of children. Like the world obviously wasn't ready.
Yeah, and I feel like there are some technologies that are still missing in our lives that needed to have been invented before AI. I
Yeah.
think that's the missing part here. That's why we're having a hard time now. We stopped with social interactions when it comes to social medias. Then I think something should have been invented after that to actually curb or at least prepare people for the incoming influx of opinions in their lives that weren't actually present before a decade ago.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree. This kind of jumped the line in evolution, maybe
Yeah.
technological evolution. AI kind of yeah skipped a few skipped a few decades, maybe.
Because I feel like AI wasn't actually needed when it was actually invented.
I mean, what good is it doing? I feel like more precise. How about I can get cell phone reception in the
It
elevator?
just
How about
it
that?
just made college kids' thesis go out much sooner than
Yeah.
before. So
Or can I have
there is
internet
that,
connection inside the grocery store? Can we do that?
right? So I feel like it's just unneeded at this time. That I feel like other technologies should have been invented at this point before AI.
I agree. I agree. But alrighty, that wraps up today's edition of Tech Times Daily. Tune in again tomorrow for more cutting edge updates and insightful discussions on the latest in technology. Until then, stay curious, stay connected. For Christian Harris, I'm Chris Short. See you next time.